If you go to designer.flypublishing.com, you should see this site, and if you click on My Sites, you'll be asked to log in with your Facebook ID. And you come to this page, we'll see all your sites. Click on New, and you create a brand new site. And click on Design, and we enter the program. Now, the stuff at the top, where it says Back, Text, Page, and a little text area, that's not actually part of your site. That's the command area. And I just entered S there to enter select mode. And now if I enter /SS, I'm selecting the entire site. And I hit B for background color, and then period. And that gives us a random color. Here I am clicking period over and over again until I find the color I want. And you notice it says RGB over there, and there was a 1x, now it's 9x. I just increased the magnification by 9. So when I hit up arrow, down arrow, I'm going to make the color lighter or darker by 9. And it's going to affect all values, RG and B. And there I've just clicked R and B off. So I've toggled them off, and now I'm affecting just the G value of the RGB value. So now if I hit period, I'm getting a random value just for the G value of the RGB. And here if I put RGB back, and I'm at 9x still, I can raise the color up and down until I find the exact perfect color I want. Hit S to go back to select mode, and now I'm going to hit F for foreground, and again I get to pick a random color. But for the foreground, I probably just want white, or something close to white. So F is the command to make the color white. And then if I go back to 9 again, and I hit down arrow a couple times, I'll get a nice gray, which is what I want. Hit S for select mode again. Now I'm going to hit P for padding mode. And if I take off the top and I hit up, you'll notice that I get some different values there. Hit 9 again to make the magnification 9, so every up and down arrow is going to count by 9. And I think what I want is the top value to be 0. So if I took T again, and just like RGB, here I have top, right, bottom, left. I can toggle them on and off. And I'm going to go down with the top. And here I am getting top exactly to 0. And now I'm going to put back the right, the bottom, and the left, and I'm going to remove top. And then I'm going to put the magnification up to 9 again. And if I hit up arrow a couple times, you'll see I have some nice padding around the whole site. All right, so I hit S again and go back to select mode, and hit capital B, and I'm in border mode. And I'll hit up arrow, and you notice I get a border around everything, but I don't want the top again. So border mode also has a TRBL, so I took off top, and now I'm doing up arrow, and I'm getting a nice thick border. I can hit C, I go into color mode for the border. Here I am hitting the period to get a random color for the border. And all the same things that worked for color before now work for color just on the border itself. And once I find something I like, let's keep going here. There's a nice one. I might want to adjust it slightly more. So again, I'll hit 9 again and start hitting up and down. And maybe 9 isn't a big enough value to really see. So if I hit slash, say, 30, and now hit up arrow or down arrow, it changes much more dramatically. Now before we selected /SS for select site. Here we're going to do /SR for select root. And root means the root element of our page here. And you can see it's outlined with a dotted line. Period means go down into a child element. Here there were no child elements, so it was the root. And colon means change the text. So I did colon test. And A means add a child. So here I am adding children to the root element. You can see I get more. If I hit D, I change the direction they grow in. So see how I toggle back between vertical and horizontal? Becomes very important because you can have children within children, and you can lay them out any way you want. Period goes down into the children, and the arrows let you toggle between which child. And so here I am adding a new child to a child in the center, and I've changed its direction to go down, and you can see you kind of have infinite ability to grow things left, right, any way you want them, and go down into them and come back up. Comma comes back up to a parent. Period goes down. Colon lorem is a special command to give you a bunch of text in case you want to see how something looks. And here I've entered that. And if I do /TAJ, which stands for text align justify, I can change how the text is aligned, in this case justified. P goes into padding mode, which we've done before, and here I am increasing the padding. S goes back to select mode. Capital B goes to border mode. Here I am getting a border. S back to select mode. M for margin, which is totally different than padding. Up arrow, and I get a nice margin. S for back to select mode. Comma goes back to the parent. Comma goes back to the higher parent. If you want to enter a large amount of text, you click the text link, and you're able to enter in this large text area anything you want. Hit save, and the text changes. This is instead of hitting colon in a small amount of text up in that box. Now, back to select mode, I'm going to say select footer by /SF, and then I'm going to say /TAC, or text align center. That centers the footer down there. And then /SH selects the header. And now I'm going to hit period to go down into this element, which is a special element. It's a menu element. And I'm going to hit F for foreground. And I'm going to hit Z, which means black. and that gets rid of that blue linkage. And then I'm also going to say /tdn for text decoration none, and that gets rid of the underline. And then I'm going to say /tb for text bold, and then I'm going to say /tac again for text align center. And that's going to center the menu items very nicely. And now I'm going to type something special. I'm going to type /sm for select menu. And you'll see that all of them are selected there for a second, and I'm going to pick a background color for every single menu element, except for the one that's highlighted. You see the home is still this previous color. So go back to select mode and hit up comma, and this time I do select menu H for select menu highlight. And now I can pick a color for this one. Let's iterate through a couple colors so we find the one we want. And of course you can also adjust the paddings, the margin, everything else you're used to in these elements, and they're global for the entire menu element. So that means if I click on the other pages, like our books and our services, you notice that the highlight color changes and it's the same one that you picked before. So how do you change these pages? Well, if you click on pages, you'll notice here's the hierarchy of all your pages. And if you click on edit here and you click on add sibling, you'll notice now you have untitled here as one of the main pages. And if I click back to design mode here, you'll notice untitled is now one of the menu items, and it has the exact same colors as the rest. I can also do it for these sub-menu items here. If I click on fiction and I say again add sibling, you'll notice now there's an untitled one here. And you can use those commands you saw before to move up and down, which order they go in. Here it is, the submenu, and you notice now there's untitled there, but the submenu looks kind of plain. So there's a new concept here we should do, and that is /sc for select center. Just like the header and the footer appear on every page, and then there's your content in the middle, the center appears on every page except the home page, and you get to define that global stuff for every page, but then somewhere in the middle of that center, the rest of your page content comes over. And that's how you can have different content for all these different subpages. But this is really useful if you want to have, say, ads on every page, and you want to define the ads to be on the right side. Well, you can add some children and move them over there and get those ads to show on every single page, and then you just change the content of each individual page, but the center will be on every page. And you would do that with the /sr command for select root. When you're on the home page, /sr selects the root, and there's no center involved. When you're on one of the other pages, /sr selects the root of that page. So here I am selecting /sr, and I get the root element of the page we're on. And I can enter T for text mode. And here the arrow keys will do something very interesting. They'll let me control the line height or the actual size of the text. And I'm pushing the up arrows up and down. You control the line height, and then left and right controls the size of the text. Then period, change the font. You can either do Courier or Times or Arial. And rather than having to enter into text mode, or rather than having to leave text mode, rather, you can, from within text mode, you can say /aj for align justified. From outside text mode, you'd have to do /taj. And all the text commands work that way. And here we are clicking through the next couple of pages. Obviously, this design is pretty ugly. I mean, we didn't do a very good job with the look and feel here of these ugly colors. But here I am doing /sc for select center and period to enter into an element, enter into a child element. And so now I've moved all the way over to that center element on the right side, and I'm changing the text to say ads here. This is where you could add ads on the right side, and they'd be on the right side of every page. And then you can go and change the content of each individual page. And so if we were done, we'd click on export, and it would generate a zip for us, and we can just save that zip to our hard drive, open it, and then here you have all the files of the completed site, and you can just FTP these directly to your server, and you have a functioning website.